Welcome back everybody to 31 Days of Horror, and today we're taking a look at 1999's eXistenZ. So this is directed by David Cronenberg, favourites being the likes of The Fly, The Dead Zone, The Brood and Scanners. So this is a science fiction horror film clocking in at 97 minutes long. Stars the likes of Jennifer Jason Leigh, who in terms of horror films was excellent in the likes of The Hitcher and Annihilation. Jude Law is also in this, but I'm not seeing him in any other horror film. But he was great in the likes of Road to Perdition, Gattaca, The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Order, and Shopping. Also got Ian Holm, most famously in Alien, as well as Willem Dafoe, who's also in terms of horror films in American Psycho, Nosferatu, and Daybreakers. So, a game designer on the run from assassins must play her latest virtual reality creation with a marketing trainee to determine if the game has been damaged. So, this is a rather typical effort from Cronenberg in that it is violent, has great practical effects, plenty of icky moments. If you liked all of the icky moments in Videodrome, for instance, then you'll have plenty in this to enjoy. Has effective themes and a vision that is unlike any other from the same period. I also think it convincing and gets across the whole idea of the game because there's certain parts of this that do feel like a modern kind of game where there's like parts of it that are quite mundane. You know, you got to do a certain like a job in it or something. It reminded me of the latest Mafia game where you had like certain mundane jobs to do. So it does get that part across really nicely. It also has a good cast, some sly humour. The pacing is on point. It is genuinely engaging. The score by Howard Shore is great, and it is well produced. Just a shame though that the way this concludes is a mix of the obvious and somewhat convoluted, while the world building is rather lacking because yeah, it doesn't really get across why or how this kind of virtual reality stuff has come across, or why there's this kind of virtual reality that includes these like you know fleshy kind of almost living kind of machinery or kind of stuff, or where that kind of idea came from and such. So yeah, I think it's a little bit lacking in that, but on the whole, it is an engaging effort, and certainly isn't like anything else I've seen in terms of this kind of effort, where video games in films are generally quite poorly portrayed. They aren't really effective in a lot of ways. You look at like sort of like was it Gamer with Jared Butler, which was really rather quite crap, and then yeah, games in general just don't seem to be well represented in films, whereas not quite the case with this. So there's the disc. I believe this had a limited edition version at some point, but I never got my hands on it. But it does still come with the extras that came with that. So brand new extras include the likes of the leader, an interview with Christopher Eccleston, commentary with Kim Newman and Ryan Lambie, commentary with Ramondo Digital's Nathaniel Thompson. We've also got audio commentary by Cronenberg himself, a making of documentary, promo featurette, backstage interviews with Jude Law, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and David Cronenberg, and a trailer as well. So, yeah, an overall effective effort, but not one that is by any means my favourite from Cronenberg. I'd say the four that I mentioned from him when I was talking about him earlier are definitely far, far superior. But this is still decent, and yeah, can certainly do a lot worse from later career efforts from a well-known director, to be honest. So yeah, but nonetheless, if you have seen it, I would like to hear your thoughts on it. But if you haven't, and you have seen plenty of Cronenberg that you enjoyed before, and you've yet to get around to this, I do recommend seeing it. As well, parts enough to there is enough to it to enjoy. I just find the ending a little bit weak in comparison to the rest of the film. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.